So guys, today we've brought you a super unique anime where an assassin is desperately searching for a bride. But the problem is, this poor guy has been single since birth. He literally doesn't even know how to talk to girls. And on top of that, his profession is so dangerous that no girl would even dare come near him. So now the question is, will this lonely assassin finally find true love, or will he stay single forever? Let's find out. The story begins with a mafia meeting where several dangerous criminals are discussing business. Before serving wine to the mafia boss, one man carefully tests it for poison. Since he senses nothing suspicious, the wine is served to everyone. But the moment the boss drinks it, he suddenly coughs up blood and collapses. Everyone immediately blames the man who tested the wine. But the real mastermind was actually the quiet waiter standing nearby, Poison Master Gero. And before anyone realizes it, Gero calmly walks away from the scene. Later, while returning home, Gero notices a couple kissing on the street. He gets so distracted watching them that he walks directly into a pole. Soon after, we see Gero talking with his sister, Akari. She asks him how he managed to bypass the poison test so perfectly. Gero explains that for the last 3 months, he had secretly been feeding tiny amounts of poison to the tester. Slowly, the man built immunity without realizing it. That's why he survived the poison and couldn't detect anything wrong with the wine. Akari is impressed, but then she suddenly asks Gero something unexpected. Have you ever thought about marriage? Gero immediately rejects the idea. He explains that in his profession, meeting a normal girl is basically impossible. He also reveals that their grandmother wants one of them to become the next leader of the Poison clan. Since Gero refuses marriage, the family has started forcing Akari toward an arranged marriage instead. But Gero insists he'll stay single forever. A little later, Gero receives a message from his old friend known as Bugmaster. The two meet up and start drinking together. During their conversation, they talk about another assassin called Needle Master, who now has 3 children and massive expenses. Gero laughs because he believes he'll never have to deal with family problems. But suddenly, Bugmaster reveals that he's planning to get married too. Gero is completely shocked. When he sees Bugmaster's girlfriend, he can't believe someone actually fell in love with him because Gero thought Bugmaster had even worse chances with women than himself. Bugmaster proudly says that he worked really hard to make the relationship happen. For the first time, Gero starts wondering if marriage might not be such a terrible thing after all. Soon after, another mafia member hires Gero for a new assassination mission. The target is a mysterious marriage scammer named May. According to the mafia man, May has been tricking countless people and causing chaos everywhere. Without hesitation, Gero poisons May and calmly explains the horrifying death that's about to happen. He says the poison will slowly paralyze the nerves, spread into the brain, and cause unbearable pain while the victim stays fully conscious the entire time. But instead of panicking, May calmly starts talking to him. May says that Gero looks exactly like their first love. Gero immediately assumes this is just another manipulation trick to survive. Then May reveals the truth. They admit they scammed people only because they desperately needed money to save their younger brother, who is seriously ill. Despite loans and endless jobs, they still couldn't gather enough money for treatment. May sadly smiles and asks Gero one final favor before dying. At least tell me your name. For some reason, Gero actually tells May his real name. At the same time, nearby mafia members start praising Gero, explaining that his family belongs to one of the oldest assassination clans in existence, and that Poison Master Gero is currently one of the most feared assassins alive. As Gero watches May, he starts wondering whether May's feelings were actually genuine. But then Akari suddenly calls him with terrible news. She reveals that she's returning to the main family to continue the Poison clan bloodline. She plans to marry someone from the branch family because their grandmother is forcing her to do it. Gero desperately tells her to stop, but Akari explains that if neither sibling agrees, their grandmother will take away her freedom and force her into childbirth anyway. Hearing this completely changes Gero. Without thinking, he suddenly proposes marriage to May. He explains that he needs to get married to inherit the Poison clan, and since May supposedly has feelings for him, he's willing to help save May's younger brother in exchange. May is shocked, but then they suddenly start laughing. They confess they only wanted to see the look on Gero's face before dying. May explains that relationships normally happen because personalities, looks, wealth, or lifestyles match each other. But today, I saw someone propose to a person they were about to kill. That's definitely not a normal relationship. Then May tells Gero something important. If you truly want to find someone, you need to honestly express your feelings. People only find their ideal partner after truly understanding each other. Those words hit Gero deeply. For the first time in his life, Gero openly talks about his loneliness. He admits that despite being an assassin, he secretly dreams about living peacefully with someone he loves, someone who asks how his day was, talks with him all night, and takes care of him when he's sick. But because he spent his entire life training as a poison master, he never learned how to connect with normal people. May gently points out something surprising. You just opened your your heart to a complete stranger. That realization completely changes Gero. Meanwhile, the Mafia men grow impatient and demand that Gero finish the assassination immediately. But Gero suddenly refuses. Instead, he tells May that he actually needs their help because only someone experienced in relationships can help him finally find love. He offers May a strange deal. If you help me get married, I'll save both you and your brother. Even May is speechless because nobody has ever proposed something this ridiculous before. Suddenly, the Mafia gang points guns at both of them. They decide to kill Gero themselves and become famous for defeating the legendary Poison Master. But Gero instantly activates a chemical hidden inside his body. The moment the gunfire begins, he disappears along with May. Seconds later, poison gas spreads across the rooftop and every Mafia member collapses. Gero then gives May an antidote, revealing that the poison only caused temporary trauma instead of death. Afterward, Gero calls Akari and tells her she no longer needs to sacrifice herself because he finally found someone he wants to marry. Akari becomes extremely happy, but then comes the biggest plot twist of the episode. When May asks Gero to carry them into the car, Gero gets nervous because he has never touched a girl outside of work. That's when May casually reveals the truth. I'm actually a boy. Gero is completely destroyed mentally. Later, May explains that they dress as a girl when scamming men and dress as a boy when scamming women. They simply enjoy confusing people. After that, May decides to personally train Gero in romance. They sign him up for matchmaking parties, teach him how to talk to girls, and even give him a full makeover. But things go horribly wrong every single time. During one conversation, Gero proudly tells a girl exactly how much money he earns every year, believing that income is the biggest charm a man can have. May immediately panics and explains that showing off money only makes him look arrogant. Then May tells him to smile warmly while making eye contact. Unfortunately, Gero's terrifying smile traumatizes every girl in the room. After multiple failed dates, May arranges online dating matches for him too. But because of his poison training, Gero is terrified of eating food prepared by other people. During one date, he shakes nervously while trying to eat jelly, making the girl run away in fear. At night, Gero becomes so stressed after meeting 30 girls in one day that he starts aggressively cleaning the bathroom just to calm himself down. Still, May refuses to give up on him. They insist that Gero definitely has hidden charm somewhere inside him and promise to polish it until someone finally notices. One day, while walking together, May suddenly gets kidnapped by dangerous criminals. The kidnapper turns out to be the younger brother of the Mafia man who originally hired Gero to kill May. The man brutally tortures May while demanding answers. But before things get worse, Gero suddenly appears in front of the moving car. The criminals try to run him over. Instead, Gero jumps onto the vehicle and uses acid to slice the entire car in half while sprinting through the middle of it. The vehicle crashes off a bridge, and Gero successfully rescues May. After saving them, Gero sincerely thanks May. He admits that because of May, he finally tried interacting with people instead of hiding from the world. Then, May reveals something surprising. Despite all their matchmaking efforts, they didn't receive a single contact from anyone either. So instead, May asks Gero to exchange contact information with them. And for the very first time in his life, Gero finally gains a true friend. At that moment, May realizes that Gero's real charm has finally started to appear. And with that, this incredible episode comes to an end.